Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and believe it or not, we're back with another spoiler video for Lore When Eclipsed. Now, for those of you who haven't seen yet, the initial spoilers dropped for Lore When Eclipsed over the past weekend at MagicCon. They unveiled the first batch of spoilers, giving us some insight into the mechanics, both returning and new that are coming to Lore When Eclipsed, and some of the crazy cards that we can expect to see. Personally, I'm super excited about this set. I'm kind of suffering from product fatigue when it comes to Universes Beyond, and I can't wait to get back to an in-universe Magic the Gathering set like Lorwyn, especially Lorwyn. It's such an amazing plane with so much amazing flavor. I can't wait to get back to it. If you guys haven't already seen all of those spoilers that were already covered, I'm going to make sure and link the video that I did covering everything in the description and in the comments. Definitely check that video out because there's a lot of interesting stuff coming. The mechanics that they're bringing back, the new mechanics, it's all looking really, really awesome. And I can't wait to return to Lorwyn. Now, with this video in particular, they decided to drop another spoiler, not part of the initial batch of spoilers during MagicCon, because they wanted to show off the champion card, the championship card for Jean-Emmanuel Depraz, who won the World Championship last year. And the card is looking absolutely insane. It is worthy of a championship card, and I'm really excited not only about him getting his card, which he absolutely deserves, but also just how crazy this card's going to be, specifically in Standard, but kind of in every format. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going to talk in depth about this. This is Formidable Speaker, a 2/4 creature elf druid for 1 green and 2, and it has, when this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. And you can also pay 1 mana and tap the Formidable Speaker to untap another target permanent. This is absolutely insane. I don't know if you guys realize how good this is, but I'm going to spell it out for you. First of all, normally the reason why a tutor isn't as good as it could be is because you're giving up on board presence when you cast the tutor. However much mana it costs, whether it's 2 mana, 3 mana, whatever the case may be, to play your tutor spell to find whatever's the best thing for that moment in that particular game, you're giving up that tempo advantage. You're not playing anything that hits the battlefield and stays there, puts pressure on the opponent, or helps shore up your defenses. You're not impacting the board at all. You're just setting yourself up to have a better game, a more powerful game moving forward. This card gets rid of that weakness. Not only do you get to search for any creature card you want and put it into your hand, which means you can just get your best thing that you have 4 of that you haven't drawn yet, or you could build a toolbox style effect where you can just have a bunch of 1-ofs that you can tutor up in the right moment, like a creature that destroys an artifact or enchantment for if you're up against a deck like that. Some really crazy opportunities arise when it comes to tutors, but not only do you get the tutor, you get a 2/4 body into play. And when aggro is so crazy right now, especially in Standard, being able to have a giant 2/4 blocker, maybe not giant, but giant when you take into account how big the aggro creatures typically are, and the fact that you are also getting to tutor on top of this, a 2/4 body on 3 that can block all day is actually hugely significant if you also get to put the best creature in your entire deck for the matchup that you're currently in into your hand, ready to cast possibly that same turn if it's a little bit later in the game, but at the very least the next turn. Absolutely nuts. I think this is absolutely crazy. But then you add in the fact that we just got Mayhem in Through the Omen Paths, or Spider-Man, whichever way you'd like to call it. We just got the Mayhem mechanic, which is sort of like a twist on Madness, where you can play things when they've been discarded. So now the thing that you're discarding to tutor something up could also be something you want to discard because you're going to just play it for its Mayhem cost, which it gets even crazier. But then you have this other ability as well. Pay 1 mana, untap the Formidable Speaker, tap the Formidable Speaker, untap another target permanent. It can untap any permanent, guys. Any permanent. Imagine using this with VV, discard a VV to search up whatever you want, maybe another VV, and then you can use your Formidable Speaker to untap Agatha's Soul Cauldron to get 2 exiles potentially in the same turn, like, that alone is crazy. You can also just use it for something very negligible, like just to filter color, right? You could tap a land, say you have a Simic dual land, right? You could tap it for green, spend 1 mana that you got from a different land, untap it, then tap it for blue, so that you have mana of both colors. Or maybe you only have 1 blue land in play. Well, now you can spend 1 of your green mana to untap your island, to tap it again so that you have 2 blue mana, so that you can play something that costs 2 blue that you wouldn't normally have access to. So the very floor of this is the fact that it can filter colors potentially to a certain extent, and allow you to turn like one mana color into a different mana color. But it gets even crazier from there, obviously. It essentially gives whatever creature you want Vigilance for 1 mana, except it's better than Vigilance because you can swing in with something that taps, like, let's say, Kona, that has an ability that wants it to be tapped for, and then in your second main phase, you can get that ability to go off, putting any permanent from your hand straight onto the battlefield, and then afterwards, before you go to end step, still untap it so that it can be a blocker. Or potentially even wait until your opponent attacks, and you can maybe block with the Formidable Speaker and then use it, tap it to untap something else to use an ability. Or potentially even just hold this up as a blocker, all of a sudden they have a better creature than this can block, and now you use it to untap a different creature that can then block after it attacked on your turn, maybe the Kona or maybe something else. There's so many little tiny negligible silver lining value instances where this actually matters a ton. And that's on top of the ways that you might be able to break it, such as having any permanent that taps for more than 1 mana. Now you can essentially double the amount of mana that you're getting out of that by untapping it for just 1 of the mana that you generated, and then tapping it for a bunch of mana all over again. The sky's the limit with a card like this, and the fact that you can potentially combo the untap with very specific creatures on a card that can already discard to tutor up any creature you want is nuts. That means whatever the best creatures are that combo with this, that you'd want to use with this card specifically, you could just tutor them up and find the one. If everything else is set, if you have everything else you need for the combo, which one of the pieces will probably be the Formidable Speaker itself being able to untap something, you can just find your last piece that you need for the combo and go off. I can't think of any really good examples right now, but I'm sure you guys out there are thinking of some crazy things you can do by finding the right creature that you can untap with this. In fact, if you're in a Cauldron deck, you can actually discard a second Formidable Speaker, or maybe discard the VV to find a second, so that at some point you can discard the second. Either way, you can put the Formidable Speaker into your graveyard, you can exile it with the Cauldron, so that all of your creatures with counters get the ability to tap and untap something. Then you can start getting a ton of mana from Vivi's ability out of all of your creatures, and then also have each of those creatures tap to untap things. It can get absolutely nuts. So I definitely feel like there's some crazy combos you can pull off with this guy, but even if you're not going that far and creating some kind of crazy combo, I just think all the value he brings in both very impactful ways, like being able to tutor without spending extra mana just by discarding a card, and also some of the negligible ways like Mayhem and some of the things you can use the untapping for, even in just a normal deck that isn't built around it. I think this card is just absolutely nuts. I think everything about this card is crazy, and it has me even more excited for Lorwyn Eclipsed. So that's it for this video, just the one card today, but I think this card is impactful enough. I definitely wanted to get it out to you guys and get your thoughts on it. So let me know how you're feeling in the comments. Is this as crazy as I think it is, or am I overestimating it? Do you have an idea of what to use it with that I've overlooked? It can untap any permanent, so you could potentially use it with artifacts. Like, the sky's the limit on how crazy this thing is, so let me know how you feel about it in the comments. More spoilers are on the way as soon as they drop. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.